Kelly, if anyone wants to call us directly, they can call us at 914-338-1186 or go to hearwomentalk.com and chat with us on the chat line. We'll be right back.
This is Paul Truelove on Zeus Radio Network for HearWomenTalk.com.
Hi, this is Kay Van Hoosen, founder of Hear Women Talk. Every Monday, you can return to love with Jen Ward in Genuine Healing. Jen is an empath, a healer, and an intuitive, and Jen will show you how to remove blockages, heal yourself, and feel love. That's Mondays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Hear Women Talk.
Tonight, take an adventure on the Myrtle Beach Ghost Walk. Explore the haunted swamps where alligators and the ghosts from long ago still reside. Stroll across floating walkways beneath the Spanish moss as your pirate guide leads you by lantern and shares 13 spooky tales along the way. The Ghost Walk departs nightly at dusk, only at Barefoot Landing in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Call 843-361-2700 or visit MyrtleBeachGhostWalk.com for advance tickets. The Myrtle Beach Ghost Walk.
Hi, I'm Annette Martin. My show, Annette Martin's Psychic World, is all about you. Call or use chat to talk with my intriguing guests or ask me an on-air psychic question. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, we will have an expert with words of wisdom to assist you with your life. So sit back, relax, and listen to Annette Martin's Psychic World on HearWomenTalk.com.
Have you been scammed on Facebook? Do you know someone who has? Well, it's rampant. And Thursday on Vicki Child's show, PI Answers, Vicki, together with a computer forensics expert, exposes a band of thugs who have been masquerading as a U.S. general and scamming women around the world out of thousands of dollars. You'll hear from real victims in Asia, Europe, and the U.S. Don't miss this special event when Vicki blows the whistle on the latest internet trickery. That's Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern on Hear Women Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Judy Collins from Judy's House of Oldies, and you're listening to Hear Women Talk Radio on the Zeus Radio Network.
Police Psychics. Find me.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Kelly Snyder with Valerie Graham, and we're here with Hear Women Talk, and also here with Peggy Rometo. I did want to get back to that crescendo. I
yes.
used that word on the end, and Peggy, continue on that. You know, the energy field and everything that we were heading for to just before the break, because there is some interest from the chat room as to whether or not we found, you know, the murderer and everything, but I can answer that. You go ahead. Go ahead and continue with what your feelings were at the scene that day.
It was a fascinating process because, you know, we were, as psychics, you know, we'd go get our own information, and then we would come back to see if it made sense with the rest of the team. And there were different times when my information didn't match up with the other girls, or the other girls' information. You know, it was back and forth, and so there was a little bit of frustration, you know. And but at the same time, we all are very competent and feel very powerful in our own abilities. So we weren't really negating what we were getting. We just didn't quite understand why it wasn't exactly what she was getting, or the other person was getting. So what happened was, as ultimately what it turned out to be, is one of the connections that I felt so strongly about, and the other girls felt as well. It ended up being that this man had never been interviewed by the police, and he had offered several times, but for whatever reason, who knows. Anyway, needless to say, once he was interviewed, they discovered that he had seen two men sitting in front of the victim's home. And when he pulled in, they took off. And he distinctly remembers the face. So they went ahead and did an artist rendering of this man's face. And when they did that, that face looked just like a couple of the other psychics who had picked out was the killer. And so it was really interesting. So two of us had the guy's name who actually could provide the eyewitness, and the other psychics were able, their picture matched up with the artist rendering. So we were all used to bring the case to come together.
Yes.
So it was really amazing. And then Kelly, we turned it over to Kelly, and then Kelly turns it over to the police. And so Kelly, you can explain where the case is at now.
Yeah, the important thing that happens here, and this is something that was key component of what we did for the experiment, is everyone was giving me information, separately, and then I take that information and I don't condense it. I just take the information that is provided from all the psychics in the group, and then I put it on a police form that I send to the police. But here what happened, and we discovered this while we were doing it, is we had the opportunity to sit down and discuss the case. And Peggy's not changing what she got, and she never should, because what she has in information is important. But what we did was when we started consolidating it, all of a sudden it started putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So it just opens the door even wider, that if we had, let's say 5 psychics there, or 10 or 20, and then we go back to a room, everyone is giving me their information separately, and no one is sitting there collaborating and
this was the
working
first time
together.
we had ever collaborated, ever, in the 10 years I was in the group. Yeah.
And we did it because we sort of had to, but it was obvious that's what we should be doing. And so
it was very powerful. I mean, incredibly powerful.
So the end result is I went to the police, asked them if they wanted to interview the guy. They said no, so I interviewed him. I received permission from them. I interviewed the guy. He was adamant that he thought that these guys were wrong. There was something they were doing that wasn't right. Why would they be sitting at 5:15 in the morning and in front of the house? Well, obviously they were casing it out. So as they're leaving, he gets an absolute one-on-one shot of the driver and the passenger, and then he goes to the artist, the sketch artist, and we get a picture, and we present the picture to the police. And what they're doing with it, I don't know, because again, they don't have to tell me anything. I'm John Q. Citizen. So, we rely on the family and what little tidbits we can get from the police, because obviously we want to give back to the psychics in the group as much information as possible for them to validate, the information they're providing to me. So, and ultimately,
and different police departments respond differently too. I mean, there's other police departments where they're just begging the group to, all of our resources. And so, wouldn't you say, Kelly, that like all organizations are run differently?
Well, and the cool thing that's going on here is not only did we provide the sketch, and we actually took a picture, an actual picture of one of our suspects, and put the picture and the sketch next to each other, and guess what? They're identical.
Oh,
and everyone knows who that individual is. And we give that to the police, and what are they doing with it? I don't know, but I hope they're doing the right thing. And I got to tell you, I sent it to friends and family, and I said, do you think anybody in this photograph looks similar to the sketch? And they all pointed to the same individual. So, does that mean it's true? No, but it certainly means something, and they should be maybe taking it to that step if in fact they haven't done that already. And, more importantly, that little collaboration with all of the psychics there that day and myself came up with additional names that we ultimately, through Shelley doing background checks and stuff, we came up with other names that are also potential suspects. So there's something to this, and I think we've hit something extremely important. We just need to do more of it, and that is the direction we're going.
Yeah, I would say to anybody out there who, is dabbling in this, because that's what I used to do. It was a way for me to practice my intuitive skills. I would look at whatever whodunit was in the news, or, try and pick a football game, or try and pick an Emmy winner, or whatever. Just, anything out there so I could be validated. I would get instant gratification 2 or 3 days later, especially if it was a sporting event. I might get it, 3 hours later, just to practice my intuition. And one of the things is you never want to negate anything that comes in. It's your interpretation of it, but what you're receiving is always right. And sometimes it may be like, I remember, when we were doing that case, I saw a picture of my nephew, and I went, Mario, why is Mario? Well, they wanted me to have the name Mario. And they were using my own references. So, yeah.
Well, and that was the key. Mario was the father of the guy we ended up interviewing, and he's the one that gave us the sketch. So, it all tied together. And hey, Peggy, we're just about to end the show, but before I did, I was curious, when I was doing your basically getting all the information from your profile, came across the point of origin, which is it's a topic in your book. Can you explain that before we end the show today, please?
Sure. The point of origin is something that we all connect to, and I just call it, it's a still point of, just perfect trust and infinite possibility. We can all connect to it at any time. It's that space, when you just get really quiet, you're able to access it. All the answers are there, all the questions, you don't even know what to ask. It's really that finite point of creation that ties us to the Creator, and that really gives us the essence of who we are. And we all have access to that. And when you just get quiet and do breathing, just breathe in and out and just relax, that point actually just comes to you. It's just right there, and it opens up. A lot of times I explain it like a cartoon character, like when those thought bubbles come above their head. It's like that. It's just being able to access that thought bubble. And you just get there by just breathing, relaxing, asking a specific question, and then seeing what comes up.
Well, I hope a lot of our listeners will try that. A quick note, the chat room did ask if it was frustrating not to get answers from the police about the work you did. And also, do you work with the police on a regular basis back and forth?
The answer is it's frustrating to all of us that we don't get a lot of answers, because that's how we validate and that's how we get better at what we do, number one. And I think Peggy will agree with that. But yeah, the only cases we will work on is with the police. We do not work with families. We take the information from the families, but we have to have a venue in order to give the information to, because in some cases it involves a suspect, and the police are the authority. They are doing everything they can to try to help these families. All we're doing is adding a little bit more to the game, and we're hoping what we provide to them helps them resolve or solve the case and bring closure to the case. So with that, Peggy, thank you so much. It was great talking to you again. And Val?
Yes, we look forward to seeing you next time. And this, of course...
Thank you so much for having me. And if anybody's interested in connecting with me personally, you can just go to my website, PeggyRometo.com, or you can buy my book at Amazon, or you can go to my website and download a free, the first chapter's free, and a couple of meditations are free on there. And that's just my name, PeggyRometo.com. But thank you for having me. I find it is an amazing organization. So if you have a few extra bucks and you want to donate it to someplace great, Find Me can always use the money because we never, to get more on site would be such a miracle. I think we could really solve a lot more cases.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks,
and
Peggy.
We'll look forward to seeing you next time at the same time. This has been produced and broadcast by Zeus Radio Network.
Kiss your pets on the...
This is Paul Truelove on Zeus Radio Network for HearWomenTalk.com.
Have you been scammed on Facebook? Do you know someone who has? Well, it's rampant. And Thursday on Vicki Child's show, PIN